Have you ever wondered what happens when an entire city just stops? This isn't something out of a movie. There are places on our planet that were abandoned so suddenly, they seem frozen in time. Streets whisper the stories of those who once walked them. Today we'll travel to four corners of the world to explore ghost cities, places as haunting as they are fascinating. Get ready, because reality can be far stranger than fiction. We begin in a city whose name echoes through history, Pripyat, Ukraine. On April 26, 1986, life here came to a halt. After the explosion at the Chernobyl nuclear plant, the entire city was evacuated in a matter of hours. Almost 50,000 people were told to leave everything behind, promised they would return in 3 days. They never did. Walking through Pripyat today is like stepping into a snapshot of that day. Toys scattered across a kindergarten floor, beds left unmade in empty apartments, books lying open on school desks, as if the children had stepped out for recess and never came back. The silence in Pripyat isn't just the absence of sound, it's almost tangible, heavy. Even decades later, radiation acts as an invisible guardian, deciding who can enter and for how long. It's a chilling reminder that in the blink of an eye, the world we know can become a ghost of itself. From Eastern Europe, we fly to a remote island that seems lifted from a science fiction film. Hashima Island, Japan, also known as Gunkanjima, or Battleship Island for its jagged silhouette. For nearly a century, Hashima was one of the most densely populated places on Earth. A coal mining colony surrounded by ocean. In 1974, the coal was replaced by oil. The mine closed. Within weeks, thousands of residents vanished. What remains is a metropolis of concrete ruins. Apartment blocks, schools, hospitals, cinemas, all abandoned at once. Unlike other abandoned places where nature slowly reclaims its space, Hashima's grey concrete dominates, resisting both time and the ocean waves. For decades, the island was off limits. Stories of harsh living conditions, including forced labor during the war, were hushed. Today, some areas are open to visitors, but most of the island remains a labyrinth of collapsing buildings. Walking there feels like traversing the skeleton of a city, a silent witness to an industrial era that rose, thrived, and died in the blink of an eye. From the concrete ruins of Japan, we move to the scorching desert of Namibia. Buried beneath sand dunes lies Kolmanskop. In the early 20th century, this was one of the richest cities in the world. Diamonds were so plentiful that people could simply pick them off the ground. The city thrived, building extravagant mansions, the first X-ray hospital in the southern hemisphere, a ballroom, a theater, all in the middle of nowhere. But fortune, like the desert sands, is fleeting. When larger diamond deposits were discovered further south, the residents abandoned Kolmanskop almost overnight. Today, the desert is reclaiming the city in spectacular fashion. Opulent homes are filled with sand, dunes reaching the ceilings, creating a surreal landscape. You can step into a room and find a Victorian bathtub nearly submerged in sand, or walk through a hospital where medical equipment still stands, waiting for the next patient. Personal belongings left behind tell a story of sudden departure, of a diamond fever that ended as quickly as it began. Kolmanskop is a ghost of luxury swallowed by the deserter, reminder that no wealth can stop time or nature from taking their course. Finally, our journey takes us to a serene valley in Turkey, home to the village of Kayakoy. At first glance, it appears to be a beautiful ruin, but the story here is different. And perhaps the most unsettling of all, more than 500 stone houses, 2 imposing churches, schools, an entire community, perfectly preserved, yet entirely empty. In the 1920s, as part of a population exchange between Greece and Turkey, the Greek Orthodox residents of Kayakoy were forced to leave. They departed, believing one day they might return, but they never did. What makes Kayakoy so eerie is the completeness of the abandonment. There was no war here, no natural disaster, just a mass departure. The streets wind uphill past houses that once held life, now empty shells. It's as if the soul of the place was ripped away, leaving only the bones behind. Walking through Kayakoy, you feel the weight of history and loss, a silence that speaks of uprooted communities and homes that were never inhabited again. Pripyat, Hashima, Kolmanskop, Kayakoy, cities forgotten by time, or perhaps time wasn't the only thing that left. The streets are empty, the houses intact, objects remain, as if the residents vanished in an instant. And as you watch from the safety of your own home, imagine being there, alone, surrounded by echoes of lives that never returned. Some things never truly leave.